Let's Podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies inside the Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. Thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. I was going to start today's podcast with pointing out that apparently it's Bring Your Dog to Work Day at OG Triangle Media. Got Lulu in the house today.
At least one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's an Inovana day at the Giglio house.
Mm-hmm.
So get your green cleaning. If you have a mess inside your mansion.
Right out the gate. So we're not doing housekeeping yet, though.
No. But we, so she doesn't really do well when Inovana's there cleaning up after her. So we usually go to doggy daycare.
Mm-hmm.
Doggy daycare is around the corner. They do such a great job. However, walked in today and that sounded like they had a lot going on.
Was there a fight club going on?
I don't know. There might have been something going on.
Well, you don't talk about fight club.
You know,
at the
you really
doggy daycare.
don't. But no, I sat there for a couple minutes and I'm like, nah, I gotta go because I also have a tea time today too. So we're in an Aaron Rodgers type window today.
I see.
So I figured, you know, if she doesn't go crazy, which she's knock on wood.
It's okay. I gotta get out to Full Steam today because we're doing the beer podcast.
Full Steam out in Durham.
Yeah, and they're moving locations actually.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna talk to Sean about that on the beer podcast this week. But no,
Sean Paul.
I was gonna bring up, Bring Your Dog to Work Day and how Lulu got so excited to be inside Eford Studios that she took a giant dump in front of the studio. And I only bring this up to be like, you know what? At least it wasn't in the studio. We make it stink in here already.
The carpet's fine.
The carpet
Immaculate.
is good, baby. We don't need to call up the mess inside our mansion. Poor Derek. He's like, I didn't sign up for that, guys. I did not sign up for that. I'm not going to go clean your studio and your dog mess. No, but that's what I was going to start with. But I realized when I've been resting my voice and I was like, all right, here we go. Let's podcast. I'm like, oh no, my voice is shot.
Oh,
it's on the struggle bus today.
Yeah, this happens to you twice a year. So.
No, this has nothing to do with allergies. This has to do with, have you ever yelled at your kids so much that you threw your voice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that happens.
That was me in the Ovies house this past weekend. And yeah. I've been trying to get it back and to no avail. So hopefully I'll be able to make it through an entire podcast today. I was able to do a little boots on the ground reporting yesterday, Joe.
Oh, big time.
Look at me.
Big time, man.
People say I'm not a capital J journal.
I was going to say, I think I told you about the golf story of how one of Elliot Avent's former players, his son was playing with Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, then he texted Elliot and was like, hey, I think you remember he's a journalist, works in the area. And then not anything else about anything else. Elliot calls me and then he sees me the next day. He goes, are you a journalist? And I was like, I mean, at one time I was. I mean, now I just kind of have hot takes. But yeah, man, like, come on.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He was getting very angry.
That's true. So, bottom line, PNC Arena is no more. It will soon be the Lenovo Center. Let's follow a timeline here. You'll remember that PNC signed a 2-year lease extension with the Centennial Authority to keep the PNC Arena name for 2 years. Well, that extension is coming up. In fact, it's done this month. EA Sport. Now, there was a rumor that Lenovo, which is based in Morrisville, and it has been when it, a little bit of timeline here, IBM was consumed by Lenovo.
This is all over us, man. Like we got all kinds of.
You want to talk about sources, baby? I got sources. So anyway, IBM was here for a long time. I'm here because of IBM.
Right.
They shut down the Boca plant. My dad retired from IBM and then eventually moved over to Lenovo. And my dad's got the greatest hustle of all time. He's a double retiree. Retired from IBM, retired from Lenovo. So he's good. Okay. So, Lenovo is based in Morrisville. They moved offices there and things like that. So it's a pretty large company headquartered here in the Triangle. These are the types of companies that people, at least stateside, these are the types of companies that people look to when we talk about bringing in professional baseball and all that kind of stuff. You need more Lenovos to make that work, right? So anyway,
Lenovo's been on their helmet, remember, now for a year or two.
So Lenovo, rumor was Lenovo was going to take over the lease, the naming rights for the arena when this PNC Arena extension wrapped up. But, you never got confirmation. It was just kind of a rumor. Then EA Sports screwed up and gave away the game.
Oh, boo.
Typically, EA Sports says it's in the game.
Well, it is.
Literally, it is. Because when the NHL 25 assets started to make the rounds and people were looking at what PNC Arena was going to look like in the game, well, it wasn't PNC Arena anymore. It was actually Lenovo Center. So I have been going to the I as of late as hockey dad.
No reason.
To get some things for the kids, right? Pucks, little chain, all that kind of stuff, right? And I just so happened to be at PNC Arena yesterday when they were taking the sign down. So I went over there. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm actually pulling up the image right now. They got the crane, PNCA. Like they're in the middle of taking this whole thing down. And that's what they spent a good chunk of the day doing yesterday. Now, the secret's out of the bag now, Joe. And really, the Lenovo Center thing has been one big psyop. It's actually not Lenovo Center. It's the OG Triangle Media Center.
Yeah.
I love calling it the Media Center. It's like your school. We're going on down to the Media Center, kids.
Go to the Media Center.
People are like, man, that YouTube money's paying off, right? No, actually, it's OG fans. That's what's paying for the sign. To rename it OG Triangle Media Center. But no, so once I saw the sign coming down, I knew about the EA Sports thing. That's when I was like, okay, let's see what's going on here. And I made a couple of texts, and sure enough, and I can confirm, even though it's not official yet, I can confirm that it will be Lenovo Center going forward. So RIP PNC Arena. We just got used to calling you PNC Arena after it was the RBC Center. And we had just gotten used to calling it the RBC Center before the PNC Arena because it will always be the Russ.
To Chuck Caton and Chuck Caton only. The only person ever to call it the Russ.
The Russ. Thank you very much, Rayotis. Can you tell I worked a lot of Canes games on the board back in my radio days?
You did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So yeah, for a lot of folks, it will always be the Raleigh Entertainment and Sports Arena. It sounds like a good shirt.
More inspired than the Cougars one, I would say.
Hey, my Cougar shirt arrived today.
Okay.
Damn, dude. You don't like that Cougar shirt?
You've reached peak esoteric culture.
It's what we do.
Peak.
It's what we do, dude. It's what we do here, man.
When I don't remember them, peak.
But the old heads do. And Wes lost his shit. Mike Solarte lost his shit.
That's
okay.
Fair.
So yes, it might not hit for you, but I mean, heck, what's more esoteric? The Cougars or the Skyhawks?
No, the Skyhawks were the team that never won.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a hook.
They had a hook.
Yeah,
they had a hook. I guess the Cougars' only hook was Larry Brown.
Larry Brown.
That was about it. Anyway, so I'm thinking, so if it's going to be the Lenovo Center going forward, I mean, we need nicknames, man. We need nicknames.
Okay.
So
I mean,
I got three.
What is the error you get?
Well,
because I've never really used an IBM.
It's not an IBM anymore. It's Lenovo.
I've never really used something that's not Mac.
Oh, I got you. I got you. So you haven't used a ThinkPad ever?
No.
So I have 3 of 4. If we were going to do a top 4 or 4, I've got 3 of the 4.
I had like 1 year where I used
something
not a Mac.
Okay. Well, with all the computer puns, I texted Maniscalco this morning. Instead of blue screen of death, I was like, "Look, dude, whatever. Like, please on the Slavin pairing, can you just call it the blue line of death, please?"
There you go.
When Svechnikov puts somebody into the boards, can you just say at some point, just please at some point say, "Oh, and Andrei Svechnikov put him into the motherboards." Can we do that, please?
Yeah, I think some of my state fans are already taking to calling it the L. Although that might be Carolina fans would enjoy that one as well.
Well, a lot of Carolina fans were chiming in like, oh, they're finally renaming it Roy Williams Arena.
And it would be the W.
It would be the dub. It would be the dub. So Maniscalco texted me back. He's like, if Kochetkov makes a kick save, is it he booted that save up? It's all there, folks. It's all there. So I was thinking, like, what are the nicknames going to be for the Lenovo Center? And my first thought was the think tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
ThinkPad.
404 is what I was thinking of.
Like the 404 error?
Yeah.
That would be on a loss.
Okay.
Well, Heck,
There you go.
well, you know what? Hey, Maniscalco, here's more material for you. When the Canes get beat badly, right? You know how you like to say, you know what? Chuck it, burn the tape, all that stuff. You know what you do in this case? Control Alt Delete.
Mhm.
That's what you do.
404 error.
By the way, the guy who invented Control Alt Delete, Pac Pro.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Pac Pro.
Love that.
It was Dr. Bradley, I think. My dad
Love
always loves to tell me that story. Anyway, I digress. So I think number 4 should be the think tank.
Okay. I like the L.
The L would be good.
Yeah.
I like the L.
You got the I at the L.
I think another one that would be good would be the house that Ernie built,
Your pops.
because my dad did work on the first ThinkPad. I
Yep.
mean, that was he worked on the first PC. He's got all sorts of patents, and he worked on that ThinkPad. He was part of that ThinkPad division for a long time. But honestly, I got it. The red nipple.
The red nipple?
We're going to call it the red nipple. You've never worked on a ThinkPad, have you?
No.
The ThinkPad's biggest innovation
in the middle.
the biggest innovation
Okay.
for the ThinkPad at the time was rather than having a wonky trackpad,
Right.
they had a little mouse cursor nipple in the middle of the keyboard.
Yes.
And shout out to our guy, Cannon, who tweeted at me saying they have the chance to do the funniest thing for the renovations and make the red nipple the roof of the new Lenovo Center. How do you not do that? You got to do that.
That's good.
Heck, I tweeted out OG Media exclusive look at the face-off circle. You got to make the face-off circle ribbed now. Okay? Like the red nipple on the keyboard. Let's go. Anyway, I had to get that out of my system today.
Good looking out.
So yeah, so PNC Arena is officially going to become Lenovo Center. My understanding is that the Centennial Authority is meeting on Thursday to approve this.
I'm going to be interested in the deal because Jim Kane, our friend,
Yeah.
made a really good one in 02. It was
Yeah.
80 million over the 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty
Now, it's
deal.
different market, right? Different
time.
time.
So
But you got to figure they got to get something akin.
I would
to that,
imagine.
if not more.
So the Centennial Authority is supposed to meet on Thursday, and then the announcement should be on September 19th. That's when like the official like unveiling of the Lenovo Center should be. Now, PNC is not out of the business here. This was announced by the Canes yesterday. Doug, I'm just going to read straight from the press release. Doug Wharf, president of Hurricanes Holdings LLC, today announced that the NHL Carolina Hurricanes are entering into a new collaboration with PNC Bank through PNC's sponsorship of the PNC Victory Club, formerly known as the Champions Club.
Oh, smart.
And the PNC Club Level, formerly known as the Club Level. And Doug went on to say, we are grateful for PNC's continued major partnership as we embark on this next chapter in our growth story, and for the bank's commitment to strengthen and invest in the region we call home. We look forward to joining PNC in welcoming fans to PNC Victory Club and PNC Club Level this season. This is also a thing, the difference between Peter Carmanos and where Tom Dundon is as an owner.
Sure.
Much like we're going to wheel and deal, and how you like to call it?
Movie theater popcorn.
Right? With our corporate champions. Tom Dundon's doing movie theater popcorn on the millions level.
I was just about to tell you, we make deals with our people. This is a little bit different, but this is like basically PNC saying, hey, man, we want to give you money. We just don't want to give you $4 million a year anymore. And so Doug Wharf, first big win for Doug, comes in and says, okay,
cool.
I'll get Lenovo. Let's, in theory, say to give me 4. Hey, I'll make you a deal. I'll save you money. Just give me $1 million a year.
Right.
We'll call this Champions Club the PNC Club. I mean, who loses? You save money.
Everybody wins.
You save money. I'm saving you money. I mean, Doug.
Look at Doug.
Making moves, working on the night moves, baby.
Man, we missed an opportunity to bring Doug in to be the official, business consultant for OG Media.
Yeah.
True missed opportunity.
Housekeeping.
Speaking of Enovana, because they're at the house today for Joe, I believe they should be at my house today.
A little double dip.
Yeah, it was a double dip. In fact, I ran into a fellow hockey dad, Dan, yesterday at Wake Comp, and he goes, I see Giglio and I have broken you of making it seem like, Vanna was coming to your house every day. I was like, yeah, no, I got it. I got the message. Thanks. But no, Vanna's out at my house today. So go check them out. Let's hear that jingle one more time, shall we?
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Inobana.
OG Fans newsletter is up and running. Go to ogtrianglemedia.com today. You can sign up for as little as $13 a month, but you can save. Talking about movie theater popcorn. You can buy for the entire year. OG Fans all year for $143, or you can be part of the Founders Club for $200. That runs out at the end of the month. And then we'll finally figure out what the fun prizes will be for our Founders Club.
I was going to say that feels like a whole 1 month free to me.
It does.
Under my math, movie theater, that thing up.
It does sound like a month free.
Let's go.
Brownlow worked through it yesterday for the Carolina Panthers. Joe's got some stuff about ACC as a whole, right?
Today we have a lot about Clemson and spelling out that, hey, we're still Clemson.
Yeah.
I cleaned it up for you.
I need to send that.
Even though it was quite enjoyable.
It was enjoyable. I need to send that clip to Dane to see if he can clean it up, and we can put that on social media.
Yes.
That should be a lot of fun. We mentioned that shirt, the Cougars inspired shirt. You can go to breakingtea.com right now and check out the Ovies and Giglio collection. I'm rocking the ice caps right now. I've got our Dead Conference. We've got the Skyhawks. We got all sorts of stuff, incredibly comfy shirts, and we just dropped a new one with the Cougars. I'm a fan of it.
So, no, the design's great. So now that you have the jacket with Maryland in the state,
I need to bring it in the studio.
Can we add Maryland like when we update our
I'll ask
you'll
Jamie.
think about it?
I'll ask Jamie.
Okay.
I'll ask Jamie about that. I will ask Jamie about that.
It just feels right.
A little bit of housekeeping for future OG lives. We'll be at Nature's Relief Hemp Store. Check them out, naturesreliefhempstore.com, RELEAF hempstore.com. 2 o'clock, Holly Springs Shopping Center off of Glenwood.
Holly Ridge.
Oh, Holly Ridge.
Holly Ridge. So you're going down Glenwood,
Yes.
like old school, like you're going to Snoopy's, right? Like,
Mhm.
no, what was the name of that place? Not Mr. Dunbar. Fat Daddy's. Like you're going to Fat Daddy's.
Yeah.
Then on your left,
Which is a Panera now.
and on your left, yeah, what a downgrade.
I don't know.
You got the Nature's Relief. So come see us 2 o'clock Thursday over in Holly Ridge. We're going to turn that into like an afternoon. So I can't wait. Assuming I don't like fall asleep
Well, yeah, I was
in the
gonna
middle of the
say,
show.
You're going to fall asleep, or you're going to be really, really hungry, and you're going to be pounding the Peddler
Both.
Steakhouse door. Let me into the salad bar right now. Give it to me.
Speaking of relief.
Yeah, we will see you. Yeah, well, has Lulu done that?
No,
Okay,
we got it was a big win, man.
That was a big one. Big thanks to O2 Fitness, more than a gym. Giglio went to O2 Fitness yesterday, part of their Renew Physical Therapy.
So much more than a gym.
How'd that go for you?
So much more than a gym. Krista helped me out. I got some stretches. I
Okay.
got like homework. I got an app, which I love. You know I love an app.
You do love an app.
I have the foam roller. So she
Mhm.
showed me some exercises with that. Showed me some stuff with the towel,
Mhm.
which feels like all things I can do, I'm capable of doing. So, one thing I really love already is like she was saying to me, like, okay, you have an ongoing issue, but you're also not in pain. So it's
Yeah.
not like you're in acute pain. So here's what I want you to do. We download the app. She gave me the exercises and she's like, I want you to come back next week. So like she's over there being like, how do I help you? How do I, kind of set you up? Because it is kind of a long-term solution. This is not a quick fix. Go in there,
Yeah.
get a needle, get a massage, take some pills or whatever. This is like, how do I teach you to take care of yourself so that you're not, drowning in icy hot for the rest of your life?
Mhm.
And also not trying to make money off of me, quite frankly. Because
Yeah.
a lot of places, I've done this before, where they're like, oh, no, you got to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
This is on your schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also like money.
My budget.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a wonderful start with Krista yesterday. I really enjoyed that. Oh, well, you're going to laugh at this. She goes, I Googled you. And I said, okay, now she's from Philly.
Oh,
So
I know where this
the
is going.
look of disappointment on her face,
Yeah.
in addition to having to see me,
Yeah.
and then being like, oh no, because apparently the other Joe Giglio, the Philly Joe Giglio, went to like her rival high school.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, so that's not you. And I was like,
No.
no, believe it or not, there's two Joe Giglio.
And they're both in
And
sports
they're
talk.
both, and we're both from New Jersey. She's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, that's okay, And then she's like, I had my like New Jersey versus everybody shirt, and she's like, are you like a Giants fan? And I'm like, no. Then she's like, oh, okay. She's like, well, she didn't say it, but it was like, well, you're not the other Joe Giglio. I'm disappointed, but at least you're not a Giants fan.
Okay.
So,
okay. That's fair. That's fair. I get it.
Over at Seaboard is obviously undergoing a tremendous renovation and reclamation, if you will.
Which, real quick, it's a lot easier to park there now that a lot of the construction is wrapping up. So.
And there's a lot going on over there. But they're right there by the train tracks. You cannot miss them. There is parking. So go check out O2 Fitness, particularly there on that Seaboard location.
So last night, Monday Night Football wraps up week 1 of the NFL season. And I'll admit that I do consume copious amounts of NFL media just to kind of get a general sense of what's going on, because there's only so much football you can actually watch on a Sunday. So you rely on your go-tos to kind of give you a general sense of what's going on. And I think this bleeds over into how we talked about the Panthers yesterday. And some people were not pleased with how pessimistic we were about the Panthers after week 1. And my thought was, well, what am I missing here? Like, honestly, like, what am I missing about this?
Again, if the Panthers had played the 49ers, or if the Panthers had played the Chiefs and performed the way that they did, I think you can like take a half a step back and be like, hey,
right,
it was a bad day.
Yep.
404 error, move it along. Yeah. Right. But to do that to the Saints, who are expected to be near the bottom of the barrel with them, and in the way that they did, like, you don't understand. Blowouts don't really happen in the NFL. That's not a real thing.
Well, there's also the blowouts don't really happen. That's why the Vegas lines are the way that they are.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, there's also offensive trends in the NFL over the last couple of years, which I want to get to in a second, because I think that's ultimately the big takeaway from the NFL season. And I do wonder when we're going to hit an inflection point with how people enjoy football, because we've been through this before.
Yep.
And you like to point something out in the pandemic, which we will get to. But I did think that Matthew put it best. Bryce Young having a great practice against the Jets should have thrown up a major red flag about the Jets defense, should have taken the over. And that was my thought yesterday. And I got back from Jacob's hockey practice, and I got in time to like watch the second half of the Jets and Niners. And it was like, yeah, people are trying to like pump the tires of Aaron Rodgers. Buddy, the Jets' problem last year is the same problem this year. The guy, Robert Saleh, who's supposed to be the defense, the whole construct of the Jets was, imagine Aaron Rodgers, the one that Stephen A. Smith goes, the baddest man in the NFL, with that defense. Oh my goodness, instant contenders. I'm here to tell you, without Christian McCaffrey last night, which shout out to Alex, who texted me from the Joe Wagon group going, how much did Christian McCaffrey go for in the auction draft? And he's already inactive?
I got problems with that league. I hate any league that allows moves before the first game.
I see.
Because somebody picked up Jordan Mason yesterday or whatever day.
Because of CMC?
And I'm like, that's not right.
No, but anyway, back to last night. The Jets are a bad defense, and that does kind of tie into where we are with the Panthers. And it's like, at some point, you stop having you have to stop lying to yourself about stuff. And I feel like that's what we do in the first week of college football, and that's what we do in the first week of the NFL. And when I say we lie to ourselves about when things look excellent for you and when things look terrible for you. But with the Panthers, I don't know how you come away from week 1, given what we saw in a 2-15 season, seeing what we've seen out of Bryce Young and seeing more of the same with a new coaching staff, and Mr. Positivity looking like he had gotten himself into a whole world of trouble. We actually got this to the OG Sports Phone text line, which you can text if you don't want to get on social media, 919-444-2211. This came from a 336 area code. After that loss, all the positivity Canales had during the preseason sounds insane. In his postgame presser, he had that same glazed over Reich look that said, what the hell did I get myself into? And that's kind of that's the other thing about the Panthers that I'm kind of really confused by. Under David Tepper, okay, what would make you think that there's like some sort of, it's all going to turn around for us, okay? I just don't see that. And then Derek Brown gets hurt, and you were pointing out how bad that defensive line was already. How's it going to get any better from here? So
Yeah.
it's already off to a really bleak start for the Panthers. And I'm really at a loss of where people are trying to see the positives in what we saw in week one.
I'm still over here staggering that somebody sent us a message that said we were too hard on a team in
Yes.
the NFL
Yes.
that was down 30
Yes.
to 3
Yeah.
in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Bill Barnwell. I don't have the stat, but maybe I can look it up for you. The number of times there's an NFL game where it's 30 to 3 at half.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
We're talking here like 2-3% of the games potentially max, right? And on opening day, no less, without any serious major injuries,
Mm-hmm.
like their defense was awful. They drafted somebody in the 3rd round to play linebacker. He didn't play defense. They let Frankie Louvo go and did what to replace him?
Yeah.
Like, huh? Did we find Dave Canales' burner?
No.
Like, what?
No.
What?
I don't think we
were too hard on the Panthers?
Yeah, come on.
Stop.
Again, there's a happy medium with like a lot of conversations in the NFL. Like with the rookies. Like something that we didn't really spend a lot of time talking about when it came to the rookies. It wasn't a great start for a lot of these rookies.
No.
So, this is what we have to reconcile, right? We have to reconcile the fact that we are coming out of a golden age of quarterbacking.
Mhm.
Like it happens to every league. The NBA went through the wilderness there for a little bit when they came out of the Jordan era. And then they finally found that golden era again with LeBron and KD and Steph. The NFL had it pretty damn good for a while, man. You go all the way back to the Peyton Manning, Brady battles. You throw in Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, there's any number of names I can start pulling here from a very specific era of heavy passing. So now we're going to a transitionary period where you've got a couple of dudes that, well, there's also the kind of quarterbacking too. Like, I mean, let's just call it what it is. We went from white quarterbacks to black quarterbacks being the top quarterbacks in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're talking about Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts being another one, right? Anthony, I was listening to Bomani yesterday, going back to the Panthers, right? And Bomani's all in on Anthony Richardson. CJ Stroud. Well, I want to get to CJ Stroud in a second because it actually ties back to the rookie quarterback thing.
Yeah.
But real quick on Anthony Richardson, because I was thinking about you when Bomani was like, man, I don't know if Anthony Richardson's any good. I don't know what his ceiling is, but he's really fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to see what that guy does. And honestly, the Panthers probably could use that more than anything else than they're getting out of what they're getting out of Bryce Young right now.
They tried to be safe.
Yep.
That part of it I did understand. Yep. They tried to be safe.
Yep.
Now, yeah, we don't need to relegate it.
No, we don't. It's too late
We
now.
can move on.
It is what it
It's
is.
gone.
So right now you are coming out of a golden era of quarterbacking. And I was looking up, I remember a story from Neil Greenberg in the Washington Post in about October of last year that talked about the overall offensive trends going down.
Yeah.
Passing is going down. And we talked about it this offseason where we were going to find ourselves in having like a running back renaissance. And not necessarily your traditional running back, but like the Christian McCaffreys, the Saquon Barkleys of the world, who can create yardage from the line of scrimmage, whether it's from the backfield or a yards after catch. Remember back when we talked about the Panthers in the preseason and Terrace Marshall and people kind of like, oh my God, how can you do this? I'm like, we're talking about a wide receiver group that was near the bottom of yards after catch in the NFL. So what exactly are we lamenting here? That's why Tyreek Hill has the value that he has. All right.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
I forgot to do it yesterday.
Yeah.
The second Mingo fumbled on that end around, I would have cut him. Again, I would have cut him.
Right.
Like on the spot.
That's
I would have Parcells cut him on the spot.
So so I went back and I looked up that story, and sure enough, it looked at overall trends with where the NFL is headed in terms of being more run dependent and yards after catch dependent, and explosive passing plays are going away. Now, why is that? Well, defenses have adjusted to your favorite time of the NFL.
Yeah.
Shout out to the pandemic rules, baby.
Yep.
And they're putting those two high safeties, taking away the explosive plays, which now creates this environment where everything is down offensively. So there was a stat that was making the rounds. Week 1 passing touchdowns, 2019, 61, 2020, 52, 2021, 61, 2022, 51. That's your pen, that 52, 61, 51, consistent, but also, as we know, really like let it fly, man. But starting in 2023, and it's continuing into 2024, 37 passing touchdowns in week 1, 33 pending Monday Night Football. I forgot how many actual passing touchdowns occurred last night, but obviously well below what's going on here. Jake Grossman, who does a lot of like infographics and things like that for the NFL, he tweeted this out yesterday morning. In response to the NFL becoming more pass heavy in recent years, many have commented on eventually we would reach a point where it became more efficient to run than pass, and that pendulum would swing the other way. My friends, we may be rapidly approaching that point. Okay. Which,
think about the trick that the Chiefs have pulled.
Right.
You said Mahomes, there's no doubt he's the best quarterback.
Best quarterback out.
But how are they actually winning? Like the majority of that broadcast the other night was about like, hey, like, I get it. The Chiefs weren't like, yes, they won the Super Bowl, but it was all the things I've been saying. Like they really weren't that good during the regular season.
Right.
And it was like, man, they really don't have any weapons around this guy.
So as it's becoming increasingly harder to be a quarterback in the NFL because defensive minds have adjusted to what's gone on over the last 5 years.
And this is all tied to offensive line play, by the way. All of it.
You know, people talk about how hard it is to get a quarterback. No, the most valuable pieces on the chessboard right now are offensive lines.
Think about it. The Panthers took Ike Ekwonu before they took their franchise quarterback. And quite frankly, even his mother would have to say he has not worked out as a franchise left tackle.
So when we look at all this evidence, how can we not look at rookie QBs and maybe look at an adjustment of how we should treat rookie QBs instead of just throwing it out there?
Stroud
ding, 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 ding. Rather than we get to this, you know, we talk about Tom Brady a lot and health, and we act as though because Tom Brady was able to play this long, or LeBron James has been able to play this long, that everybody should be able to play this long. We've done it with Aaron Rodgers, who looked last night.
He looked like Drew Brees at the end of Drew Brees' career.
Kirk Cousins in Atlanta.
Ooh,
hey, man.
He looked like a guy coming off an Achilles injury.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now. Right. So that gets us to CJ Stroud. And the biggest problem for all these rookies is that they're all going to look at this dude, and rather than appreciating, man, this guy's just different.
Yeah.
It's, whoa, wait a minute. Why isn't every rookie QB like this?
Including Caleb Williams, whose offense, the Bears offense didn't score a touchdown. No, they won the football game, which was quite a trick, but they didn't score a touchdown. Bo Nix looked like totally and completely lost. Jaden Daniels was able to scrounge out some running plays, but they got dominated by the Buccaneers. I mean, they were no better.
But yeah, it's like I almost felt like yesterday in some of the response to how we were talking about the Panthers, it was, are we the Bobby Bones show? Do we need to do like tell me something good? Like, do we need to do that with the Panthers?
For Panthers every week. Tell me something good.
Tell me something good.
And every week it'll be, guess what? They still have their number 1 pick for 2025. That's the bit.
That's the one.
That's the bit.
Tell me something good.
Hey, the Panthers are now 0-15, but guess what? They still have their first round pick for 2025. Hey, guess what? The Panthers were 0-16, but guess what?
Tell me something good.
They still have their first round pick for 2025.
Well, I just turned lose today. The team is cooked. But what Joe say? Sports goes wide open.
Tell me football season's back without telling me football season's back. People are actually calling the OG Sports phone again. You can call it 919-444-2211.
Hey, Joe's. I was just listening to today's podcast, and the guy that called in about the curse of Cam, he's spot on, man. I thought that I had blacked out and already called about this because I thought it was me. I'm the only one that I had heard talk about the curse of Cam. And so, yeah, I think that's right. I don't want anything with the current owner's name in it, you know, even mentioned, because I just don't want to hear his name or think about him ever. So I think he is probably the most hated Charlotte sports owner, recently overtaking George Shinn.
Wow.
So, yeah, let's not talk about him. It's the curse of Cam. Yeah, I like that. Thanks.
All right, so curse of Cam.
I can hear
Cam
that.
curse instead of the Tepper torment.
I like that reason.
Got it. All right. We'll just call it the Cam curse then. We will call it the Cam curse. One other note. Right now, I was reading John Oran's newsletter in Puck about NFL ratings after week 1. and he was talking to an industry source about how while ratings are good, there's something to keep an eye on. While ratings were good, there's clear separation between two teams and the rest of the NFL when it comes to marketability and who can guarantee you numbers. Can you guess those two teams?
Well, obviously the Chiefs.
Yes.
And I believe it's the Cowboys is the other.
Those are the two. Now the Chiefs are getting a bump because they're good and Patrick Mahomes is dynamic. They're also getting the Taylor Swift bump.
Yeah.
So for all the people who talk about, I don't want to watch the NFL anymore because of Taylor Swift, well, ratings tell another story. And of course, the Cowboys are still bankable at the ratings box office. But the question is, the league went through this once already, and they tried to find all sorts of reasons why the NFL was losing ratings, and people were like, it's woke, it's this, blah, blah. No. The reason why the ratings went down was because the football was bad.
Yeah.
People like offense. Chicks dig the long ball, right? So I'm curious how this season progresses. Now that they've got the kickoff stuff seemingly figured out, whether or not they will assess offensive production, because offense means ratings, period.
I mean, at the risk of sounding 50 years old, there's nothing else they can do on offense. Like, you're not allowed to touch anybody.
True.
You're really not allowed to hit anybody.
Well,
everything is a late hit. Everything is a shot to the head. Everything's this or that. And it's a penalty. So they don't call holding. I mean, dear Lord, when's the last time they threw a flag on the Chiefs for holding?
Fair.
Honestly, come on.
Fair. That's fair.
So
Dude, that's
I
fair.
don't know what else they could do.
That's fair.
To help the offense.
That is fair.
Other than, and the real problem here, the same thing, you can trace this to NC State. You can trace this to the Carolina Panthers.
Mhm.
You can trace this to your local high school. Because of safety and what we've learned over decades, players hit less.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you hit less in practice, guess what you need the games for? To actually get reps when you're hitting. So up front, in particular, your line play is a lot on air.
Yeah.
Or it's a lot against your scout team who's not offering enough resistance. Or it's your quarterback who doesn't get hit, obviously, by the scout team, right? So when you don't have live action to actually practice and go against, and you hit less, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be about a month into the season where you're going to say, oh man, our offensive line's a whole lot better. I wonder why. I could tell you. And that, by the way, that's a good thing.
That's
nobody needs to be getting concussed and knocked out in practice, but there's a price to that.
Big thanks to our friends over at Whitaker and Hammer. You can check them out online at wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. I was in the G yesterday in the Whitaker and Hammer headquarters, their home base. Check out Shady's, by the way.
Mhm.
I'll probably be spending a lot of time at Shady's between now and March.
Especially if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Charlotte,
Yes.
Josh's wife, is a Bills fan. And a nice crowd over there. Their Bills fan club. Watch that Bills win over the Cardinals. Go check them out on Sundays.
Very nice. Also, big thanks to Happy and Hale. We mentioned O2 Fitness and their various, again, it's more than just a gym. They also have Loop Nutrition. Loop Nutrition partners with Happy and Hale, our other corporate champions.
Smart move.
About finding ways to make sure that you are eating right. So it's all part of that total nutrition package, right?
Shout out to the person on Twitter last week after I was like threatening everyone with the peanut butter cookie.
Yeah.
They're like, I really hope your intake is 4-to-1 Happy in Hell to that peanut butter cookie.
Need that
And I was
roughage, baby.
Yeah.
Nah, I need that roughage.
I live for the Happy in Hell. Please don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Joe's
But
like,
I'm not winning that ratio quite yet.
rather than a hockey break, Joe's more like ice cream break.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hill.
Download the app to make things easy on you. You can order things for lunch, walk in, walk out, and go about your business. That's the beauty of Happy and Hale. Big thanks to Homefield. Check them out, homefieldapparel.com. Use that promo code OG24 to save 15% off your order. The hoodies are fantastic. The shirts are super, super comfortable, but they're always dropping really cool new stuff. Hats are dropping all the time. And they also have the coaches jackets, which are super, super slick. And honestly, perfect for the kind of weather that we got going on today. Just a light jacket, and you're going to look fly when you're hanging out with your friends in that coach's jacket with a little swish, 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 swish. That's the good stuff.
I need to get you the shorts to go with the coaches.
The Sansa belt shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The nut huggers. Those are the move. That's definitely the move. So check out homefieldapparel.com. Use that promo code OG24 to save 25 or to save 15% off your order. So I was doing a lot of driving around yesterday. Double up on the hockey practice, going over to PNC Arena. That's going to be Lenovo Center to do a little boots on the ground reporting, all that fun stuff. So that gives me time to listen to some podcasts. So I was catching up on Cover 3 with our friend Chip Patterson and the Yahoo College Sports podcast, College Football Podcast with Dan Wetzel and Ross Dellinger and Pat Forty. And they both, I was wondering when we were going to hit this point. I honestly was. And we hit it. And the point that I was wondering was, now that we finally got, it's like, how do you not expand? We got to expand. We got to expand. We got to get to 12. We got to get to 12. And then you get it. And when the football season starts up and Notre Dame does something like loses to Northern Illinois, which, by the way, Joe, you didn't mention this yesterday, but it is worth mentioning because you talked about it on Saturday.
All of the big upsets on Saturday were authored by teams who are on NC State's schedule. Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame. Yeah. Cal beat Auburn. Yeah. And Syracuse, while a minor upset, beat Georgia Tech. NC State actually plays both of those teams. Yeah. So, NC State fans went this whole summer, man, our schedule's so easy. So easy. I even saw some guy on the socials today talking about NC State's going to run right through the ACC. No. And they're going to do this. And I'm like, no. See, now I know you're just a professional social media person. Yeah. And not someone who actually follows NC State.
Did they use the Huffy face emoji?
They did not.
That's how you know it's a professional social media person. If it, in the cap, no, but I'm saying in the caption, while they're highlighting,
like they're gonna run roughshod.
Huffy face emoji. Yeah. This guy is built different. Huffy face emoji. So I just wanted to reiterate that things look a little real for NC State now with the schedule. But it was Tom Fornelli who said, "This is what I hate about the college football playoff expansion already, because we're already hearing, oh, well, Notre Dame's still fine. They'll be fine." And Fornelli made a really good point. I'm sorry, if you lose at home to Northern Illinois, you don't belong in the college football playoff. Straight up. He hit a nerve center that I have been pounding the table about for years when it comes to this stuff. Losses should matter. I get wins matter, but who you lose to and how you lose matters. And Riley Leonard went from, remember when Riley Leonard told us at ACC kickoff that he didn't have to say twice?
Right.
I'm wondering if Notre Dame's looking at their production so far with Riley Leonard and going, wait a minute, what's going on here? Where's the production? They can't throw the ball.
Yeah. They're also going to need a hammer to offset that Northern Illinois loss.
Yeah.
I mean, who's really on their schedule? I think it was supposed to be Florida State. Whoops. And USC is the last game of the year, but
I don't see how that's going to go well for them.
We'll see. And don't forget, there's people in that room now. This isn't a computer. Right.
So that's the curiosity.
And there's only so many ACC voices in there trying to fillet them and get them to join the league.
So Pat Forty made this point. He's like, look, one of the bits that I'm doing for SI is that I'm going to seed the tournament, every week.
Yeah.
He goes, but I'm only going to seed the tournament with teams who've actually played somebody. And when you take a breath and you look around, you go, wait a minute, how are we going to get to 12? So we've already hit the point that we talk about in the NCAA tournament. You got to fill out the bracket.
Yeah.
You got to fill out the bracket, Joe. And that's what's going to be curious to see. Because there's two ways of looking at this. Either you're going to fill out the brackets with brands that you think are going to make compelling television, which is what the committee might end up doing.
Yeah.
Or you do the thing that nobody wants you to do. And that is actually give a group of 5 team a legitimate chance at winning a game or two in this thing and really wrecking some seasons.
Or put more than one in.
I mean, there is that possibility as well. I think it's going to get more TV brands than anything else because it is a made-for-TV product. But yeah, man, 40 made a good point. Be careful what you wish for, because now you got to be like, well, wait a minute. How are we going to fill this damn thing out?
Yeah, I think that'll sort itself. I'm a fan of the expanded playoff for this reason. I think it does. To your point about losses, yes, but
they matter.
There's more value to the regular season, even with those losses, because now you have those conference races, and now you do have a Tennessee now who very well could go and lose 3 SEC games, but has something in their back pocket potentially with that win. So those are the kind of things that I think matter, and I don't believe in this 4-team, whatever and whatever else. Like, give people a chance.
Yeah,
and it's not just like, oh, I want to see Auburn and Georgia and Alabama and all these Southeast teams. Give some of the teams out west and up north a chance too.
Okay, no, that makes sense. It's funny. I was looking at DraftKings on their futures to make the playoffs, right? Like Kansas to make the playoffs. Yes, plus 1,000. Kansas State, plus 300. That's another question, by the way. Who the hell is coming out of the Big 12?
I know. Well, Kansas lost to Illinois.
Right.
Kansas State struggled with Tulane, but did win, but they did not look great in doing it.
You know, you got NC State, right, to make the college football playoff, plus 1,300 at this point after their loss to Tennessee. It's just that. It is just that, which is kind of amusing. But yeah, you can look at their overall to make the college football playoff. You know, Ohio State minus 750, Georgia minus 750, Texas minus 450, Oregon is minus 330. I mean, look,
Oregon's not getting there.
Georgia looks obvious. Texas looks pretty obvious right now. I don't really know. You know, Miami's minus 150. You know, but there's a couple teams out there that haven't really played anybody yet that I'm waiting to see. Like Ole Miss is one of them, right?
Yeah,
that's a team. Alabama's another one, by the way.
Yeah,
you know they don't have
they
don't have the Nick Saban bounce anymore.
I know what the final score was, but they struggled with USF.
They did. So you can go to DraftKings right now and look at some of these futures, or you can just keep it simple. You want to look for, you know, who's going to score the first touchdown, right? You can do that with DraftKings. So head on over right now. They're an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. If you're ready to place your first bet, all you got to do is download the app, use the promo code OG24. That code, OG24, for new customers. You'll get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, and you'll get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Again, use that promo code OG24. Bet $5, you'll get $250 in bonus bets, plus an NFL Plus Premium goodie.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
Big thanks to Breeze Through. Check them out, breezethrough.com. It is peak tailgating season. They are conveniently located outside many football stadiums. Of course, we got the obvious one outside PNC Arena. There's actually one outside Keenan as well. Drop in, hit the beer cave, get your goodies, get ice, get snacks, whatever it is you need at Breeze Through. Again, check them out, breezethrough.com. Big thanks to Hometown Realty. MyHTR.com is the website. Joe, what are you doing if you take a guaranteed offer?
You're shortchanging your number one asset and taking less money. Why would you do that?
No, not in this market.
Maximize.
Buy, sell with confidence with our friends at Hometown Realty. Again, that's myhtr.com. You might need a new house because you need multiple fridges to keep all the stuff you've got from Two Roosters. That might be the case. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. I need a bigger garage so I can put multiple freezers so I can hoard Two Roosters. So go to tworoosters.com to find out their new flavors. You will not find peanut butter cookie because Joe took it all.
No, I am the keeper of the cookie.
Big thanks to Roback as well. You can check them out, roback.com. Use that promo code OG20. Sometimes I feel like they don't need us anymore because they've got actual endorsements. This is the ad that you sent me on social media.
Really nice.
From Quinn Ewers. Here we go.
You ready? Let's go. Let's do it.
Ooh, football throw.
Stop it. Stop it.
It's better than the Viagra commercial. Oh, hit the basket.
Oh, my God.
What?
Oh, my God.
No, that's something else.
Holy crap. No way. I got one more. I got a quarter.
No.
Go. Oh, man.
No.
Dude. No!
And that's all because he was wearing Roback.
That's right.
It's all because he was wearing Roback.
I can go out there and do that myself.
Yeah, I want to see you do that. Well, you got your
golf
Roback
today.
What time's your tea time, by the way?
11:40.
Oh, we got time.
Yes,
we got time. I was getting a little worried there.
Don't forget, I got to take the dog back though too.
No, I know, and I don't want the dog to take a dump in the studio.
The dog only really poops once a day, dude.
I wish I could.
Understand the bra on Zeus.
There's a lot of things that you'll just never understand, man. Just like I feel like I have to do an explainer for Kendrick Lamar doing the Super Bowl halftime show. So look, in the peak of summer content, when we didn't have a lot to talk about, I was fascinated by the rap beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And look, I think the last time we talked to Bomani, we discussed how things used to be. You know, people are like, oh, you're milking this, you're milking this, you're milking this. This beef with Drake, you're just clout chasing. It's like, no, this is just how it used to be. You come out with a song, songs a hit on the radio for a bit. In this case, your MP3 streaming, whatever. Then you come out with a video. Okay, cool. And then you do a show. Like, that's traditional as hell, man. And then when you hit big time, you know what else you do? You do a big TV event like the Super Bowl. But you see, these were things that get a little different. This is when Joe Ovies, age 45, washed dad of two, tries to explain modern culture to fellow olds. Okay. So they announced this on Sunday with a cryptic social media post, which is what Kendrick Lamar typically does. He loves the cryptic lead up to whatever he's doing. Cool. That's his shtick. I enjoy it. And he said something along the lines of no round twos, which was in reference to the guy he's beefing with, Drake, as if he already hasn't beaten Drake, as if Drake hasn't already gone into a pop culture spiral over all this stuff. He's continuing to do this. And what is the significance of the Super Bowl? And I don't know how he planned this. I really don't. I don't know if he called in a favor with Jay-Z to say, hey, you really want to stick it to Drake? I know how we can do it. The whole thing that set this off, the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, the whole thing that set it off was that Drake did a song with J. Cole, North Carolina's own, Pac Pro. Okay. He was a Pac Pro for like a hot minute. Remember? He was
with Dennis, but he's
Smith.
a Tar Heel fan.
No. He sat courtside.
Right next to me for a whole year.
Next to, what's our guy?
John, not only.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out John. I don't know why his name was escaping me. He sat next to John all the time during that season, right? Anyway, he did a song called First Person Shooter. Okay. And the video game reference. And in that, he says, as big as the what? As big as the Super Bowl. When him and J. Cole, but it's just two dudes chopping up in the studio. It's as big as the Super Bowl when these guys get together. And then he goes on to talk about how, J. Cole's like, yeah, it's me and Drake and K-Dot, right? Of course, Kendrick didn't like that. He didn't want to be referenced. Like, no, you guys, we are not the same, you and me. All right. So that line, as big as the Super Bowl, guess who's now doing the Super Bowl? Not Drake, who is perfect for the Super Bowl because he's got all those catchy hits.
Got a lot of hits.
Got a lot of catchy radio hits, man.
Yeah.
No, it's not him. It's Kendrick Lamar. And I'm going to be really fascinated how we've come full circle from Nipplegate, where Justin Timberlake took Janet Jackson's
Panthers, Patriots.
Yeah, took the top off of Janet Jackson to reveal a nipple piercing. And everybody lost their freaking shit. And we had to deal with The Who and various other old acts to keep it safe until Prince brought out the phallic guitar in the rain in Miami, one of the greatest Super Bowl of all time. So we're going to go from playing it safe to gradually going back to a little bit more pop culture friendly stuff. We got that LA Super Bowl. We had the Dr. Dre Snoop thing. Kendrick made an appearance in that in 2022.
You're glossing over the real breaking point here.
And that is?
Well, Shakira and J-Lo had people losing their minds a little bit. But did you see the Brazil halftime? You probably didn't.
I didn't. Because I didn't have Peacock.
How do they like to dance in Brazil? There's a lot of butt shaking.
It's a carnival, man.
Hips don't lie.
Yeah, carnival, baby.
That's all it was. Like, they just came out and there was like 20 of them.
Love it. I love it.
Shaking their ass. And I'm
love
like,
that.
oh, okay, well, we're back.
I love that. Give that to me. What's going to happen when Kendrick does Not Like Us? And we get to the line that's a call and response. The whole song's about accusing another man of being a pedophile. Yeah. Okay? That's the whole conceit of the song. He's accusing another pop artist of being a pedophile. And the key line that gets the crowd to go nuts is when trying to strike a chord, probably A minor. And if you watch the pop out in LA, he did that song 5 times. 5 times. And every single time he let it hang with the A minor. So the crowd was like, trying to strike a chord, probably A minor. And people lost it. So you're telling me that the Super Bowl that's going to have 130 million people watching it and a stadium full of people, and they're going to do that song. And you're going to hear a crowd go A minor.
So
there's two things here. One, we've come full circle.
Yep.
Two, how does Drake ever come back?
It's going to be difficult. But what I hear you saying is Imagine Dragons will be doing the Super Bowl next year. That's what I hear you saying.
Probably the case. Look, man, this is like peak Street Fighter guile. Go home and be a family man. After that, just go home and be a family man.
We've got a lot to get to. Woo. It's a lightning round.
One other item in the lightning round. You know what? I did not give. This is actually, I almost feel like errors and corrections. I feel like I did not give Cal football fans enough credit. Yesterday, we spent time making fun of Cal football fans because of their stupid chant.
Yeah, their Camp Seagull chant. Yeah.
But what I did not realize about Cal is that they're extremely online. I mean, again, you get smart people. You get smart people are going to be extremely online. I also missed the story where apparently Auburn's AD called out Cal for like not being essentially like American enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So Cal goes to Auburn, wins, and Auburn fans would not stop trolling Auburn fans with, hey, Auburn. And it's like all these, it's very like UConn basketball-esque, like ridiculous, or TCU, like Hypnotoad, like completely batshit deep fried memes. And it was like, hey, Auburn, you just got beat by the woke mind virus. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Somebody did an image of Auburn Stadium and just did property of Antifa. Damn, man. What? What? And then Cal's football program. I missed this. Apologies, Cal. It just means more with the shush. Cal,
that's pretty good, man.
Welcome.
It's pretty good.
You know, it's like the Shaq meme. Cal, I apologize. I was not familiar with your game. So yeah, your athletic department might be broke, but your fans, well done.
Yeah.
Well done on that one. I was a big fan of that. So shout out to Cal on that. Big fans of that. Welcome to the ACC. You guys seem to understand the assignment. All right, let's get out of here on some Hey Joe questions. We had a lot of reaction to our conversation about Dave Dorn and NC State. Let's go ahead to the YouTube comments and let's see where here he is from Back the Pack. State can't take the next step because the O-line is mid and the QB position is mid. Also, it's that simple. Also, Dave Dorn offensively, mentality, philosophy is absolutely soft. You play to score points, not to dink and dunk all night. Okay. It's pretty hardcore. Let's see, from Eddie Harden. I don't think it's that Ed Harden.
Our guy.
I don't think it's not Ed Harden, is it?
No,
that's not him. This is from about the Panthers. The O-line was not that bad. Young can't see a blitz coming. How many times does number 9 need to show you he cannot play? I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go that far. And then the lone gamer, kind of sick of them blaming the O-line for Bryce's struggles. He sucks. That is it. Nothing else. Did you guys miss the part where I said it's like, this ain't it? Did you guys miss that part? This is my other favorite part from James. Early Nico to the Panthers hype. No, guys. No, guys. 21 Pilots is Nico and the Niners. Nico and the Niners. When the Brock Purdy thing finally falls off, then
talk about guys who struggled last night.
Right? Oof. When the Brock Purdy thing finally wraps up, it's going to be Nico and the Niners. It's right there for them. Already got a taste of him playing at Bank of America Stadium. It was foreshadowing. I'm already practicing announcing his full name now. So I'm ready for Nico in the black and blue. Woof. Goodness gracious. Goodness. In fairness to the Panthers, every team every year gets blown out at least once a year. Not in week 1 like that. That's tough. That is tough. From Philip, if Tom Brady is dry, then hey, I'll still take that every day over the clown show that is CBS with Romo. That is fair. Romo went from novelty act to clearly kind of going on vibes. Yeah. And it's not necessarily working. You can't do that with the NFL who loves jargon, right? Another one, Smoking Aces. We need to wait for 26 to get Nico from Tennessee.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Nico's got one more year.
Yeah, he does. Calling the Saints a bad team after beating the shit out of the Panthers 47-10. You may want to think about that. No. It's about the Panthers, guys. It's not about you. It ain't about you. From heel, yeah, on your level, Joe. I still fear Clemson, convinced we will never beat them until Dabo is gone. Look at Lulu. Lulu's ready, man. From Mr. Jin Wright, hopefully they'll talk about ECU, Duke, and UNC now that the NC State shit is back. Look, man, we'll talk about UNC when they actually play somebody.
Oh, they did. Minnesota.
We talked about that. But up until now, there's not a lot to talk about with that.
No, the shit's dead, dude. Remember?
And the shit is dead.
Yeah. I wrote about ECU and app in the newsletter today.
Yes. Last thing I wanted to tap into, and maybe Lulu has an opinion here. From Bulls 123. Love the pod. I was disappointed in this week's AP poll. Why are teams like Ole Miss and Mizzou so high? Those two teams have done nothing in college football over the last 30 years to suggest they'll be that good. Those are prove-it-to-me teams. It's embarrassing for the sport to hear teams like USC, Miami, Penn State, Oregon, K-State, and Utah are behind them. North Carolina has played a harder non-conference game at Minnesota, or heck, even Cal. ESPN bias. Well, A, it's AP voting, has nothing to do with ESPN. But you, being the former AP voter, you have some insight on that.
I mean, Missouri was good last year, brought their quarterback back. Ole Miss was good last year, brought their quarterback back. You're not going to drop them because they didn't play anybody in the first 2 weeks. You're going to wait till they play somebody.
Are you ready to go? Lulu ready to go?
She's ready.
Okay. We'll get out of here.
She did good.
She did good. She did very good. Big thanks to Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority for sponsoring us. Check out bugsbite.com. This is every time I do a bugsbite.com, I remind myself I got to call them so we can take care of some roach issues. So reminder to myself. You can bundle and save with Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Again, just go to bugsbite.com. Also, big thanks to the Butcher's Market. As we mentioned, tailgating season's fully back. The weather is fantastic. You might just want to use that patio again, dust off the grill. Well, Butcher's Market's got all sorts of goodies for you. They can make it super easy for you by having the marinated meats already. Signature steak tips are fantastic. You can use the Ovies family recipe, the secret family recipe for the chicken, or you can just buy the meat yourself, season it how you want. They got all those goodies at the Butcher's Market. And of course, our friend, Matt Davis, State Farm. Call him, 919-779-8277. You can save on your home and auto and use all that money to support our other corporate champions. That's what it's all about. Corporate champion synergy. InsureGarner.com, theoginsurance.com, or call directly 919-779-8277. We will see you Wednesday. Talk to you then.